All right, happy Thursday, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Hopefully, you're having a fantastic day. Yesterday was a great day. Last 2 days have been great. Back-to-back sweeps. We went 6-0 yesterday. We had the Brewers on the run line. They just ended up winning for us. We had the Mariners Yankees over 9.5. That was pretty sweat-free. We had Mackenzie Gore under 18.5 outs and 5 Ks. Check that box. He went 18 outs. We had Mackenzie Gore over 5.5 Ks. He finished at 7, which is right where I had him projected. We had the Braves and the A's over 10.5. That ended at 11. Braves just absolutely went off. And we had the Blue Jays and the White Sox first 5 under 4.5. That ended at 3. So a beautiful 6-0 day. 10-0 over the last 2 days. I want to say 15-2 over the last 3 days. So we are on a nice little run. Let's keep that going on this interesting slate here. We got 11 games on this getaway day. We're going to talk about every game as always, and I'm going to give you my 5 best bets. All right, let's dig into the slate. We do have a doubleheader on the card today. Game 1 kicking us off at 12:05 p.m. This is interesting. When I looked at games that Peterson and Morton have thrown at around noon, we'll say 12:30 or before, they've only thrown one each. It didn't go well for old Grandpa Charlie. They ended up losing that game 6-17. Whereas David Peterson threw one game and they ended up winning. I want to say it was like 3-1, 4-1, something like that. So very low scoring to very high scoring in Baltimore today. In terms of the weather, we do have the slight potential for rain, but we do have the wind blowing out. It's not going to be much. It's going to be about 4 miles an hour. In terms of the weather, it's going to be about 82 degrees, mid-humidity, mid-pressure, nothing crazy there. This one would definitely lean towards the Mets side, but I'm not paying this price for the Mets, minus 142 or whatever you can get it at, minus 138 on FanDuel. A little steep for a morning game. Kind of the same thing as yesterday with the White Sox. They're not going to take BP. Morton's been okay. Peterson's been okay. These guys on the road and at home, not fantastic numbers, but not awful. You know, Morton 270 average to lefties, 256 to righties over the last 30 days. Hard hit percentage, kind of middle of the road. Runners in scoring position, pretty good, giving up a 180 average, but his ERA is 5.12 and 11 home starts. Now, that is inflated by one decently bad start. On the other side with Peterson, giving up a 259 average to lefties, 242 to righties, 45% hard hit percentage, and a 264 average with runners in scoring position. It's got a 4.44 ERA and 8 away starts. Do I trust the Orioles bats against lefties? Same thing as yesterday. I really don't. We've got an over-under of 9. I would lean towards the under, but again, probably just going to stay away from this doubleheader. If anything, I would touch game 2 after kind of seeing who the bullpens use. But really kind of a fade for me. I know guys like to get in on the action early. I think a Nerfy could be in the cards. I don't really love playing Nerfies in this park, though, especially with a high over-under, but I would lean towards the Nerfy. That would be the only way I would play this one. All right, next game is going to be the Cubs and the Twins. Cubbies have not looked good in this series. Target Field is getting the best of them today. Another game where we could potentially see some rain in this one. So it does make me a little bit concerned in terms of the wind. It's going to be kind of blowing basically right to left, maybe slightly in. It is going to be about 79 to 80 degrees. We do have some pretty low pressure, so that's going to help with carry. Humidity's kind of average, going to be about 64%. We got Colin Rea going up against Chris Paddock. So Paddock at home this season. He's got 8 home starts, giving up a 3.59 ERA. Colin Rea also has 8 away starts, a 4.13 ERA. Splits for both of these guys. Rea, not good against lefties, giving up a 3.33 average over the last 30 days. Really good against righties, though. 193, but he's only got a 10% K rate. Chris Paddock, not great. 304 average to lefties, 357 to righties. Very low strikeout rate. Hard hit percentage is up. Runners in scoring position, kind of mid for both of these guys. But I don't love the pitch mix here for Paddock. Cubbies are hitting pretty much everything he throws quite well. Changeup is the only thing they're not hitting well, but they're hitting the fastball well, hitting the slider well, curveball well. This would be the Cubbies. So we're going to take the Cubbies on the money line as our official best bet. In this one, line has jumped a little bit from when I got it, but minus 130, I'm still okay with that. We do have an over-under of 9.5. I would lean towards the under because it is a day game, but I like the Cubs to bounce back here and avoid the sweep today. All right, next game would be the Mets in Baltimore. So this is going to be game 2 of the doubleheader. Not sure who's going to start for the Mets in game 2. From what I could tell, is going to be Justin Hageman going up against Sugano. This would be a clear spot to take the Mets. It's interesting that the line is so skewed, but it would be Mets or nothing for me. But again, really need to see how game 1 goes, what bullpen arms are used. So there's a lot of uncertainty here, but I don't trust Sugano. We see that the over-under jumps from 9 in game 1 to 10.5 in game 2, which makes sense, right? Sugano not been great. 385 average to lefties, 378 to righties. Sugano over earned runs could be another one. If the first game is lower scoring, that might be something that I'll look to is Sugano over his earned runs, giving up a 491 average and 8 home starts. We talked about him yesterday. But yeah, this would be Mets or nothing for me in this spot. All right, next game is going to be Miami Marlins and the Reds. The Reds bats woke up. They did wake up yesterday. Streaky team with the sticks, but when the bats do wake up, they tend to last for a couple of games. We got Cal Quantrill going up against Nick Lodolo. If you guys follow this channel, you know I'm not a huge fan of Lodolo at home. He's got a 4.69 ERA and 9 home starts, giving up a 241 average to lefties, 257 to righties over the last 30 days. K rate's been decent. Decent amount of righties on this Marlins team, so Lodolo over Ks could be an option. Hard hit percentage is kind of mid, doing a good job of runners in scoring position. On the other side, we got Cal Quantrill. Cal Quantrill's 3-7 on the year, giving up a 287 opponent average on the season. He's got a 5.40 ERA that does jump slightly to 5.85 in 9 away starts. In terms of his splits, 160 average to 167 average to lefties, but 366 to righties, and only a 15% K rate. Struggle with runners in scoring position. He's got a 312 average over the last 30 days. This will definitely be one I go back to the Reds, but the price is absurd. So not sure I can get on board with that. I do think the Marlins should be able to get some runs off Lodolo, but man, they have not been hitting lefties well. They struggle to hit Abbott. I think they'll struggle to hit Lodolo. It would probably be Reds on the run line would be the only way I'd play this, or take the under 9. I do like the under 9. All right, next game is going to be the Mariners and the Yankees. Brian Wu going up against Marcus Stroman. Good God, man. This is where we're at. We got Marcus Stroman throwing. Brian Wu this season, he's 8-4 with a 209 opponent average. He's got a 2.77 ERA, but it does jump. Jumps to 3.47 in 10 away starts. Splits look pretty good. 210 to lefties, 176 to righties. K percentage against righties is pretty high at 40%. Stroman, last 30 days, 273 to lefties, 250 to righties, 421 average runners in scoring position. He's got 3 home starts. He's got almost an 8 ERA. Now, I do think that the Yankees bats are just hot. They're over in the last 10 games. I think the Mariners put up a ton of runs today. So Marcus Stroman over 2.5 earned runs is an auto bang for me. You can get that at minus 130 on DraftKings, and I like the full game over 9. So I do think the Mariners wake up and really start to score some runs today off of Stroman, and I think the Yankees are able to score some runs as well. In terms of the score, I have the 6-4 in terms of the Mariners, so it would be a lean towards the Mariners money line as well, but we're just going to take the over. Next game is going to be Tampa Bay and Boston, kicking off a pretty important series here. So Taj Bradley going up against Walker Buehler. In terms of Fenway, we do have the wind blowing in. It's going to be kind of cooler. It's going to be 66 degrees, 97% humidity though. So, overall home runs are going to be down a little bit. Runs are going to be down a little bit. Taj Bradley and Walker Buehler. This is one, each of them have pretty decent records against the other in terms of teams. Taj Bradley's been pretty fantastic at Fenway. Had a couple of starts there in the last couple of years. I think 2 earned runs is the most he's given up. Walker Buehler on the other side has had some success against this Rays team. But Walker Buehler is just not somebody I can trust. He's got a 6.25 ERA on the season. He's got a 4 ERA at home. We look at Taj Bradley. He's got a 4.79 ERA on the season. Actually drops down to 4, which makes sense just because the park they're playing at is a minor league field. Splits here. I don't love how Taj Bradley's pitching the righties, but Walker Buehler's not pitching well to lefties, so they kind of mix each other out. Give me the Rays on the first 5 here. I think the bats start to wake up in this series, so give me the Rays on the first 5 as the best bet in this one. Also like them for the full game. Walker Buehler, I had his over 2.5 earned runs. Right as I went to bed, it jumped. So it was minus 120. It skyrocketed to like minus 160. So obviously the books are thinking he is going to give up some earned runs today. All right, now fishy line of the day right here. Cleveland and the White Sox. We get Cleveland at minus 130 going up against the White Sox, but it's Logan Allen going up against Jonathan Cannon. White Sox have been hitting lefties over the last 2 weeks. They've been a top 10 team against lefties, top 10 over the past week as well. We know Cleveland's struggles are notable. That said, they just went into Houston and swept one of the best home teams around. So they do have some momentum that they're riding. Logan Allen's just not a dude I can get behind, though. I would lean towards the under 8.5 in this spot. I do think that both teams should struggle to score runs just a little bit. And we do have the wind blowing in from left. It's kind of like left center is where it's blowing in. And it's going to be blowing in at about 6 to 7 miles an hour. But you got to remember, this is Chicago. It's kind of close to the water. Wind effect is a little bit better here. This is not Wrigley level, but it does have a pretty significant impact. Jonathan Cannon, don't really love his splits, though. Last 30 days, 333 average to lefties, 316 to righties. Hard hit percentage is pretty high, but he's been fantastic with runners in scoring position, only giving up a 148 average. On the flip side, Logan Allen, 154 lefty on lefty, 250 average to righties. Hard hit percentage is really low. Makes sense. I mean, he throws a lot of junk. He throws a splitter, a slider, a cutter, and then a fastball. But yeah, this is one that this is the fishiest line ever. Another bet I tried to get in was Jonathan Cannon over 4.5 hits at minus 120, and it skyrocketed before I could hit the button to bet it. So yeah, it's just weird. Everything's kind of saying bet the White Sox here, but yeah, can't get on board with that. So it'd be Cleveland or nothing for me. I do have this slated as 4-3 in terms of Cleveland. So that's where I lean towards the under here in this contest. Next game, Washington and St. Louis. Michael Soroka going up against Miles Mikolas. I don't know why the Cardinals are this big of a favorite. It doesn't really make sense to me. This would be Washington or nothing for me. I'd have to fade Miles Mikolas. Just if we look at the stats against Mikolas, last 30 days, 340 average to lefties, 315 to righties, 45% hard hit percentage, got a 262 average with runners in scoring position. He's got almost a 5 ERA at home. Now, the reason why we're seeing this is Soroka hasn't been a ton better. He's got a 5.2 ERA in 7 away starts, 256 average with runners in scoring position, but splits over the last 30 days have been really good. 245 to lefties, 182 to righties with a 33% K rate. And we see a Cardinals team that's kind of sputtering a little bit offensively. But the pitch mix looks terrible for Mikolas. Fastball and curveball, which he throws combined about 65% of the time. Nats are second and third hitting those. So really, Nats team total over 3.5 at minus 140. It's heavily juiced, but I do love that line. So that's something that I have on my card today that I've already bet, but it would be Nationals or the over. I think 9 given the pitchers, and this line's just weird. So I would definitely lean towards the over. In terms of the weather in Busch, wind's going to be blowing in ever so slightly, kind of from right field. It's going to be about 5 miles an hour, but barely blowing in. So over or the Nats for me in this one. Next game is going to be the Braves and the A's. Interesting game here. We've got Spencer Strider going up against J.P. Sears. Definite pitching advantage towards the Braves. A little shocked we're getting the Braves at minus 150, to be honest, especially with Spencer Strider on the mound. It's another fishy line. I think Spencer Strider should have a pretty decent day. His pitch mix looks fantastic. When we look at this A's team, they're dead last hitting the fastball. They're 27th hitting the slider, 29th hitting the curveball. Now they are 4th hitting the changeup, but Spencer Strider only throws that 1 or 2 a game. So this would be, Braves' first 5 run line for me would be the way I'd want to play this, just to find some value. But I think Strider's able to keep this team down pretty good, but just another fishy line. So didn't touch it, staying away from it. The issue is, can the Braves hit? It feels like this line says the Braves are going to not be able to score runs today. So over under of 10. I'm not taking an under in this park. We got a 14-mile-an-hour wind blowing straight out to center field. So it would be over for me, would be the only way I'd play that. And I don't really want to count on the A's getting to Spencer Strider with how bad this pitch mix is with them today. All right, next game is going to be the Rangers and the Angels. Patrick Corbin Day going up against Jack Kochanowicz. This would be the over for me. Over 9.5 for me. Wind's going to be blowing out at about 8 miles an hour. It's going to be a decent day, 83 degrees. So no reason not to take the over. This is another one. I should have put it on the card yesterday. I even said it. I did have it on one of my slips personally, and it cashed so easily. I still like the over here. I think Corbin should get hit a little bit. Now, the Angels against lefties haven't been a great story, but I do think they're able to get to Corbin a little bit here. And Kochanowicz, she is extremely gettable. Patrick Corbin splits over the last 30 days, 282 average to lefties, 316 to righties, only striking them out at 18% clip. Struggled a little bit with runners in scoring position. Kochanowicz, 250 to lefties, 278 to righties. Hard hit percentage is very high, 300 average with runners in scoring position. So you got 2 guys with pretty high ERAs here. So over 9.5. This is one that almost made the card. This probably would have been my next play. Next game and our last game of the day, the 11th game of the day, it's going to be the D-backs and the Padres. We've seen the Padres offense has not been good. They've scored, 3 runs in the first 2 games of the series, but they get Eduardo Rodriguez and Randy Vasquez today, two of the dominant pitchers in the game in terms of giving up runs, over 8.5. This is first play I made. This is a pretty easy play for me. Rodriguez on the road giving up a 5.26 ERA. Vasquez at home's got a 3.12, but his pitch looks awful. I think these lefties are able to get to him today. He should get hit hard. So just give me the over in this one. I think we do see some runs come through. In terms of the weather, it's going to be 73 degrees. We do have a slight wind blowing out kind of towards right field at about 6 miles an hour. So I do love runs in this one, so give me the over. All right, let's get to our best bets. But before we do that, make sure you guys like the video. Comment down below with whatever you want. Your favorite play of the day, a color, number, whatever you want. Just help with the algorithm, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't. All right, first play of the day, like I said, Rays, first 5. I think they get to Walker Buehler, so this should be a little bit of BP. Probably going to be a fairly high-scoring game. I don't mind the over 9 either. Marcus Stroman, over 2.5 earned run. These Mariners teams are just due to come uncorked today, so I do think they get to Stroman pretty easily. We're going to also take the over 9 for the full game. We're going to take the D-backs and the Padres over 8.5. And we're going to take the Cubs on the money line to have a bounce back day here against Chris Paddock and this Twins team. Obviously, I don't think I mentioned that, but no Byron Buxton today. I think he has a hand contusion was the official diagnosis. So won't have one of their better hitters in the lineup today. So another reason I like the Cubbies. All right. Appreciate you guys tuning in to the channel. Good luck today, and I'll catch you in the video tomorrow.